Welcome to Man's Man Monday, a production of the James McGee Show, where it's okay to be masculine, it's okay to be tough, and it's okay to be, well, be a man. Join your host, James McGee, on discussions what a man should be and put an end to the toxic masculinity movement.
Welcome back to the James McGee Show, Man's Man Monday. I am James McGee, and I don't know where you are in this nation right now, what part of this country that you're living in, but I'm going to tell you, there is no better weather than what I'm experiencing today. If you have the weather that I have right now, you're inside, you completely suck. Get your ass outside and do some man stuff. So I spent the day finishing up some landscaping, started up this weekend that my wife and I've been working on the last couple of weeks. Spreading mulch, cutting grass, weeding, trimming, split some wood, cut some limbs, just doing man stuff. So, look, we live busy lives. I'm not as busy as I used to be. I've never paid anybody to cut my grass. And I'm not against paying people to cut grass. Actually, I cut some grass and get paid. I have a few yards that I do. So there's nothing wrong with that, but there's a difference between not being able to do things for yourself and not doing things for yourself. I get convenience, but if you have an office job, what better than spending an hour or so, a couple hours a week, just getting out there and getting your hands dirty and being just doing man stuff. If you have sons, teaching them how to work. What happens one day you just lose your job? What can you do? You can't afford to pay somebody to change your oil, do your yard, do those basic things. You have an emergency. Do you now repair a PVC pipe? That's the kind of stuff, basic things that we should be able to do to survive. Be self-contained. That's what being a man is about. Man, if I could live somewhere, well, the only place I know that had this, I'll tell you what this weather is like from California. This is what supposedly California is year round. It's a shame that place is such a shithole. You have weather like this, and you have the streets in all the major cities, supposed to be beautiful cities in California, people shitting and pissing in the street. That's what this, that's what that is turned into. But that's another story. But if you have weather like this, get out there and just work. Get out there and do some things and enjoy. Get some sunshine. Get from inside. Get from inside and get some sunshine and do some man stuff. Just work. There's nothing more rewarding than getting out there and having. I like a nice yard. I'm sure that every one of you like a nice yard, but there's nothing better than having a nice yard. The only thing better than having a nice yard is looking at your hands and know you did them with those two. You did that work with those two hands. There is nothing more rewarding than that. Man, we got a good week coming up. Don't know what we're going to talk about tomorrow night. Two Finger Tuesday, our most popular show of the week. I know that Tom's coming back. I think Joe should be coming back. If you did not hear the Thursday with Steve Lewis, one of the absolute best men that I know, one of the absolute best leaders that I know, go listen to that. Going to try to see if he can come on tomorrow night too. We're going to think about something good to talk about. Obviously, it'll probably be law enforcement related. I know it's going to be law enforcement related. I can tell you what, next week, if I can get them back on, this Thursday, I'm not going to have a guest. I have chosen not to have a guest for the High Level Human podcast. I need that hour and a half to break something down in depth. I've been studying. I've said this in the past couple of weeks that I wasn't going to say a lot until I did my homework, and I'm going to break everything down Thursday. But I did all my homework, watched hours of video, read hours of documents about the George Floyd incident. I watched the documentary, The Fall of Minneapolis. Now, I'm be up front. I didn't just watch that. because of course it was done by somebody on the opposing side, somebody that is pro the officer side, which I am definitely that 100% now. And I'm going to tell you, we were fooled. I can honestly say, and I'm going to break everything down Thursday, I am comfortable saying I speak my mind, and y'all who have followed me know that I will speak my mind. But one thing I'm not going to do is speak out of school. I did last week, and I corrected myself. I did a little bit last week, and I corrected myself. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to speak out of school. I told y'all when I looked at this, I reserved my opinion for when I had an educated opinion. I have an educated opinion now. There are 4 men sitting in prison that are innocent. They did not kill George Floyd. There is no evidence that they killed George Floyd. There should be some people in prison. Attorney General from Minnesota, Keith Ellison, should be in prison. The judge should be in prison. The prosecutor who tried this case, knowing these men were innocent, should be in prison. Maxine Waters, congressman, senator, whichever she is, absolutely should be in prison. Standing in the street and bullying and hey, she's First Amendment, but you know what? She might have the First Amendment, but she has a responsibility with the position that she has. And I'll break everything down Thursday, but I'm sick to my stomach. I sat down this weekend. My wife was out of town. I sat down and I watched it. Not that I couldn't do it when she's here, but it gave me some time. I had some dead time, and I sat down and I read and I watched and I took notes, and I'm ready to comment. I'm ready to really give the facts. So Thursday, I'm gonna break the facts down, and then what I'm hoping is next week that Joe, Tom, Steve, whoever I can get to come back next week, sit down and give some opinions. I'm going to give some opinions Thursday, but I want to give you the facts. I don't want to sway you. And if you hadn't watched The Fall of Minneapolis, you really need to watch that. Now, I'll tell you this also. I invite anybody, now that I have done my homework, I'm not just want to talk to people that agree with me. If somebody doesn't agree with me, get in touch with me. Come on. I will come on the show and I will have that debate. But I'm going to tell you this, I will not have a conversation with anyone about George Floyd who has not watched The Fall of Minneapolis or watched the body cam, read some documents, and educated themselves. If you watch that, in Fall of Minneapolis, of course, like I said, it's pro the officers, but it's showing, but the facts are the facts. You can't run from the autopsy, which says until the doctor was swayed, it says that he did not die of asphyxiation or suffocation. He had high levels of different types of narcotics, including fentanyl in his system, a fatal dose of fentanyl. And I'm getting ahead of myself because I get passionate, but I'll debate this with anyone who educates themselves. If anyone that watches that wants to and watches me Thursday and wants to come on and debate, come on, man. I'd love to have you. And I will always have conversations, whether they agree with me or not, if it's respectful and if it's intelligent. So I encourage you to watch The Fall of Minneapolis, and I definitely encourage you to listen Thursday. I'm going to break it all down. And if you haven't listened to one of the most powerful podcasts that we've had with Chief of Police Steve Lewis from Thursday, then please do so. See you tomorrow night. Hopefully Joe and Tom and possibly Steve are with us. Until then, McGee is out.